Hello everybody, welcome to the channel. Is the Maschine Mark 1 still usable? Can you use it in 2023? I'm going to go over how I use it. I currently use it as my drum machine of choice. It works with Maschine 2.0 and all its latest updates. Works just fine, no issues. I'll go over how to get the drivers. It works on Mac and Windows. I use it on my MacBook 2017, and I also use it on my Windows machine. That's my primary machine of choice. So let's get started. Alright, I'm going to load up the Maschine software now on my computer. And this is currently a demonstration of what the workflow would be like if I was working entirely using just the Maschine MK1. This is similar to standalone mode like the Mark III. The Mark III has the bigger screens, but there's a lot that you could do in the Mark I without having to have those LCDs or looking at your computer. Let's start off really simply with a simple drum kit. I'm going to go ahead and start a new project to refresh everything. Alright, so we're in a new project. I'm going to go to Browse. I'm going to look at some of the kits that are out there. As you can see, NKS is fully working. Alright, let's go ahead, set the tempo with Shift Tap Tempo. So I get out of Browse. You can see everything's loaded up. So we're at roughly 88. If I want to make sure that the tempo is exactly at 88, I can keep Shift pressed and reduce the tempo. What's nice about the Mark I is dedicated knobs for everything. Starting with the Mark II, they sort of went with having one single knob and different buttons to control those knobs. But in this case, you just have 3 different knobs. That's pretty neat. Just a preference, but I like using it this way. I'm going to go ahead set polyphony to 8 by default. Alright, let's go ahead set the metronome. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and quantize. I don't need the metronome at this point. Let's go to Browse. Let's go check out some instruments. As you can see, I can go ahead and scroll and look at the different products. I got Kinetic Treats, I have Contact, I have Massive. Let's look at some of the Chromatic Fire instruments. I want to pick something from. Let's do Alpha Centauri, sounds kind of cool. If you do Shift and Pad mode, that goes to keyboard mode. I believe on the Mark II it's labeled up here, but essentially Shift and Pad mode is keyboard mode. So I'm going to go ahead and start recording. As you can see, that added another group. Now if I want to change this up, since the MIDI is already loaded up, I can change to alpha state. I think this sounds a little better. Not that it all sounds good at this point. But yeah, you could load up instruments through groups just as you would use the Maschine Mark III. I know the Mark III looks a lot nicer, but I just wanted to demonstrate that the Mark I is very usable today in 2023. It does almost all the things that the Mark III does. Don't get me wrong, they have added a lot new features. There's the little strip over here on the Mark III that lets you add additional functions to it. But if you're getting started and you're trying to get into the Maschine ecosystem and try to just make some music, I'm going to stop playing this right here. I think the Maschine Mark I is very much usable. As you could see, you could still add your groups, you could add a whole bunch of different layers, you have access to all the instruments you have, so the software is the same. They have updated, and there even is a manual for Maschine 2.0. That way you could use any Maschine hardware box with the updated software, and they have actually updated the software for Maschine Mark I, Mark II, and obviously with the Mark III that's already out 5 years ago, the software is updated too. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and add the links to the manuals if anybody's interested in purchasing these devices, or you already have a Mark I and you were contemplating trying to get the latest and greatest. You probably are already using the Mark I, but the manuals can help you get a little bit more information, a little bit more context on how to use the different features that came out with the new software. And we're going to move on to the desktop here in a little bit, and I'm going to go over where to get the drivers. You can go ahead and download them from Maschine. Yeah, let's go ahead and check out the desktop right now. All right, so I'll put the link to this particular part of the Native Instrument website in the description below. But what this is the list of all drivers for all the Native Instruments hardware that's available. So if I go ahead and search Maschine, you will see that it goes all the way up to Maschine Mark I. I went ahead and downloaded the Maschine controller driver for macOS 10.9 to 11, which for me worked with even the newer versions of macOS, but I don't know if it works out the gate for Mac now, because I did upgrade my macOS and I didn't have any issues with the driver. But you could comment down below if that worked for you. But since I primarily use Windows, I would go ahead and click on the Windows 7 and above link, which just goes ahead and downloads the driver, which you then go ahead and install. And once the driver is installed, it will recognize your Maschine Mark I. As you can see, I'm going to pull up Maschine 2 software right here. This was the project that we went ahead and played. I can go ahead and hit play to show you that that's what we played. Alright, so that's a brief demo of how to use Maschine Mark I. Today in 2023, I still think it's a pretty good device for someone getting started, wanting to get into the Maschine ecosystem. If you don't want to spend $600 for a new device, note that the device does come with software, and you're looking at the used market. You want to maybe get something entry level, you want to save some money. I will say that you do need to buy the software separately. The software doesn't cost that much. It's Maschine Essentials at $60. You can get it on the Maschine website. I will also link that below. But once you get the software, you could just plug in your hardware. It doesn't work like you would think in MIDI mode. You can use it in MIDI mode, but it just recognizes the device. You don't need to have your hardware necessarily registered, especially for a device this old. So from that perspective, I'd say it's worth it. If you want to get into the ecosystem, go ahead and buy it. I'll put some links down below to eBay searches. That's how I got mine. I believe I paid $120 or under that amount for my hardware. I did go ahead and buy the software from the Native Instruments website, and that's how I'm able to make music on the Maschine hardware. Let me know what you think. Are you still rocking a Maschine Mark I? If so, just let me know how you use it and how that's working out for you. Comment down below, and thanks for watching.